You do it for?
Okay, today we're going to talk about the lack of knowledge for new airmen coming into the Air Force. A lot of things that we need to realize is that the new airmen who come in, they look for direction. They look to capture their internal barriers, their external barriers, and to tap into that mindset that we look for. We want to capitalize that here at Dice Air Force Base. Some of the things that we do as solutions for our airmen is to get them in certain educational courses, such as PME, ALS, and so forth. So we'd like to capitalize and create a solution that'll better our airmen into a place where we need them to be as leaders. And we will transition into coming up with that solution and that purpose.
So the whole idea that we came up with is adding an extra week to FTAC, solely based to give airmen what they need to know so they know what to expect from supervisors. Because there's a lot of people that come here, they don't know they're supposed to get evaluated when they get here and stuff like that, and they don't know maybe what's supposed to be in their EPR until maybe it's a little bit later, or what their supervisor is expecting them to do, because of the fact that their supervisor gets with them later or anything else like that. So and then it would also be there to teach basic leadership and followership concepts. So if so let's say they go to this class, they didn't know they didn't know they were supposed to be getting their EPR. So they go back and they're like, what happened with my EPR? Why didn't I get it? And then that puts a responsibility on the NCO that they didn't have before, because now the airmen know what they're supposed to get from their NCOs. And then that also goes with the idea of followership, because they'll now know what to expect from their NCOs and know where they are supposed to follow and the path that they're supposed to take to sit. I guess the main purpose of it is because there is no leadership concepts or followership concepts that are taught until ALS or the other classes. So it's to cover the gap that could be from when you first get in all the way up to what could possibly be like 6 years of no leadership concepts whatsoever, and possibly missing out on certain awards and accolades that you could have received, but you didn't know you could have received because leadership was lazy, or maybe they didn't know. And that's basically it.
So piggybacking on that, it's essentially a checks and balances. The airmen now know during this course, they now know what what type of feedback they should be getting, what goes into a bullet, and all these different things. Now, how this is different from what our current status quo is, if you will, is like you said, you may not go to ALS for the first 6 years, and then now you're not getting any leadership training, any followership training for maybe your whole career in the Air Force, and that's not benefiting the Air Force in any way. So teaching you these tools right off the gate will help boost you and help you hit the ground running when you first get to your shop. It won't really cost anything. Maybe manufacturing a workbook, kind of like the workbooks we received here. Manufacturing a workbook for them to teach at FTAC and for you to follow along with and keep for the rest of your time. But other than that, the cost would just be in manpower and time.
Laura, I was pretty much going over the end of it, kind of how to go about the solution. Pretty much we're going to kind of route it through FSS, go it that way, because we're assuming FSS is the ones who deal with FTAC. What we were going to do is probably have them do like a survey and go to the airmen and ask them, to ensure that they're actually getting the information that they're supposed to get, just to show that, in fact, that they're not. Because just from talking to people in this room, I mean, these people, I'm seeing that the airmen are getting the information that the NCOs are supposed to be giving to them, which is the reason for this class. So these airmen know ahead of time, so that way that when they do have a bad supervisor, well, they knew, ahead of time what they're supposed to be receiving. So.
kind of just to piggyback off the surveys, so what we would do is hand out surveys to airmen who didn't receive that training at FTAC, and like ask them questions like, did you know when your initial feedback was due? Did you know, like, when you switch supervisors, how long you have to do one? That type of information, and then send a couple of, like, the kids who did go through FTAC and get that training, send them the same survey and see how they incorporated that when they get to their actual workspace. And then we would present those findings up to leadership or whoever the correct person is and let them know, like, hey, these airmen maybe didn't advance as fast or as well as they could in their careers because they didn't receive this training from the get-go, as opposed to those airmen who got that training right off the bat. You know, they're making BTZ, they're getting rewards packages in, their 1206s, and all that type of stuff. And then letting them know, like, hey, this is working for DIAS. We are, you know, having better airmen who are making sure we have better NCOs, and then maybe implement that, hopefully, Air Force-wide. So, yeah.
Good. All right. Questions?
I mean, it was perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was.
So one issue I have, it's you guys.
There's always one.
Is the information you guys giving them in your program more important than them learning their primary duty? Because I think primary, in my personal opinion, primary duty is first before you learn the extracurricular things to make BTZ and get the awards packages. That's why I think the FTAC should stay at the LIP, but you can incorporate your lessons into the current curriculum, as opposed to taking another week off of them getting their OJT. So you guys think it would be an advantage to take a week from primary duties, or that the information you guys have is more important than their primary duties?
I think 1 week just to get the basis of that training, in the long term, will not take away too much for OJT. You have a year to get your 5 level. So you have a year of OJT, 1 week of that, just to learn, hey, here's all this information, and here's a booklet to keep. What is that 1 week going to affect OJT wise? You know what I mean?
And that one extra week could also provide a solid base